Hello, this is Anne Collins from Blue Bottle Coaching. I'm talking to Arati Kilroy today about the coaching process and how it helped her. At the start of the 6 sessions, she was facing the real prospect of redundancy as a result of the lockdown. But at the same time, she had an idea for a business, importing and selling specialty teas from her home country, Nepal. I started by asking her what she'd hoped to get out of coaching.
So I think definitely my biggest hope was that I just wanted to be able to be heard, somebody who was actually listening to me rather than just hearing me kind of thing.
Yes.
That was definitely the first thing. And then while doing so, then I wanted to be able to say out my thinking out loud, my thoughts out loud. So that was what I was hoping. So which was very much achieved. I would say so.
What were the problems you were hoping to address?
Whole thing all started with the lockdown, obviously, and leading to this uncertainty of, in a few months' time, am I going to still have a job? It's like, oh God, I need to kind of rethink my, sort of situation and see maybe I should be thinking of doing something else that was more sustainable, that it would not be impacted by the lockdowns if it has to continue. All those thought processes were happening just about a couple of days after we were told from work that we may be under the risk of redundancy. And I happened to be on my family call on a Saturday with my brother. I said, okay, his tea, I was in my head very, very straightforward thinking it was, like very, very simple, straightforward thinking. I just thought of his little tea pouches that he sells them in the Kathmandu tea room in Lalitpur in Kathmandu. And I was just like, yeah, actually, you know what? I think I might just give it a try. Why not? If you send me some, I can give it a try and see. And then in the meantime, then we had started chatting already over our coaching sessions. And then I just toyed with the idea of how about giving that a go in case the work shouldn't work out. And even if it did work out, I could still invest my time doing that since I only do a part-time kind of work anyway.
Yes.
So I said that would be really good. Now that my daughter, Jade, is all grown up and she's sorted and minding her own business, so I don't have too much household attention to give.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, maybe I can just put it off. So hence the whole thing started off. And then obviously with you pushing me every time we met for every session, it's like, what have you done? What's happening? What's next? And all that kind of, and then it just kind of reinforced my thinking, what was in my head. And I just thought, yeah. And then the moment you say it out loud, you kind of feel silly not to put it into action.
So it's actually the speaking out loud makes the big difference, or made the big difference for you.
For me, it did. Because I'm like, oh my God, I said that, I should better do it because I don't want to be a hypocrite. That kind of a thing. So it kind of, and in a very, very quiet, way that it kind of had actually pushed me to the point that I started chatting with my brother and I told him what teas I wanted. And we, in fact, at the very, very early stage, we established that we were not going to use his ready-to-go packeted teas. So as soon as we had scrapped that plan, that it would mean that we would be buying loose tea. And it meant that we had to package it ourselves. So there came the idea of branding ourselves as nepaltea.love. And that's how it started off. And literally, we had only just said that out loud to each other, me and my husband. And next thing, he spent all day on that day itself creating a website. And he had already done a landing page on that day. And this was like, we were on to our 4th session, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And once that had happened, there was no turning back.
Yes.
There was no turning back because you were actually visualizing the whole thing, So definitely, I think massive boost to just, plan to action.
So it was a boost in terms of actually putting things into action. So you'd been thinking of it already.
Absolutely. So that also,
Why do you think coaching is so powerful? Because it's not the same as, like you say, it's not the same as sitting down with someone just for a chat, is it?
No, definitely not. I think, oh my God, how do I put it? Definitely not, because you just, the moment you receive that email to say, here is your Zoom, codes for tomorrow, and you're sitting down with a pen and a paper, you straight away, it's not like just really sitting back on your sofa and having a little chit chat with a mate or your husband or your partner or somebody, over a glass
Yes.
of wine. It's not.
Yes.
But we are really, really talking business here.
Yes. Yes.
Business as in getting from A to Z. And that doesn't happen in everyday normal conversation, does it? It
No.
doesn't. We
No.
just talk about any and everything, and then it can possibly go nowhere. But
Yes.
with coaching, it does go somewhere. Even if you don't end up directly achieving something concrete, like you can literally hold it in your hand and say, oh, this is what I've achieved, even if you don't, but here you would have at the end of it. I
Yes.
can promise you that you
Yes.
would have in kind of just in enough to kind of nudge you a little bit
Yes.
towards a change, a new direction for the better.
Yeah. And how would you say it changed the way you thought about things and about yourself?
I think for me, it helped me to come out of my comfort zone massively, massively. And I'm kind of thinking, you know, I the reason why I kind of stayed like that is purely because I having come to the UK, and the only experience within the UK scenario had been my very first one had been to run a pub and all to do with food and beverage and hospitality and everything. And then I just took that forward, not just because that was the only thing I knew how to do, but I kind of enjoyed it, you know. But because I continued doing that for so long and only just that, I kind of got myself into this nice, warm, comfortable zone. So this kind of helped me to think outside the box a little bit.
Tell us about this tea business now. Where can we find the tea? Where can we buy it?
So yes, we have called ourselves nepaltea.love, and .love can be literally .heart.
Excellent.
And you could go through our website and choose 4 different types of teas. That's what we've gone with to begin with. But in due course of time, we will be throwing in one specialty tea every once in a while.
Oh, great. I look forward to
Yeah,
that.
absolutely, because there is wide array of specialty teas that my brother can produce in Nepal.
Oh, it's an absolutely wonderful achievement, Arti. Congratulations. And thanks so much for chatting to me today. I really appreciate it. All the best with the new tea business. And I look forward to catching up in a few months' time to see how it's all going. This is Anne Collins. Thanks for joining me. Goodbye.